This feels like an absolute dream. As following what was the series of the year against the New York Yankees, the Toronto Blue Jays come into Detroit and do the unthinkable. We're going to break down exactly what happened, what it means going forward, as folks, this just keeps getting better and better. Quite frankly, it keeps getting crazier as we are now a week away officially from the trade deadline. We're also going to dive into a few other updates on this episode, folks. But before we get into it all, if you're part of the percentage who aren't subscribed to the channel, you guys have been absolutely fantastic with the support lately. If you're a part of that 70 or so percent who aren't subscribed, make sure to hit the subscribe button. You guys have been absolute beasts, folks. A lot to go over today, and the Blue Jays just keep on rolling. You're coming into a interesting Detroit team right now. They're 1-9 in their last 10. They're scuffling, but they are still atop the MLB. They're near atop the AL. All these different things, and the Jays come out and, quite frankly, absolutely destroy the Detroit Tigers. Just absolutely. I mean, it was 11-1. Chad Green has a bit of a disaster class there in the bottom of the ninth. Let's dive into it. And again, heading into this game, the big story is, okay, how will this team, show up against the Tigers with a chance to take sole control of first spot in not only the AL, but first, depending how things fall out tonight, first in the MLB, which is something that is absolutely ludicrous. But Nathan Lucas goes 2 for 5 with a home run, and you're coming into this game, you're thinking, okay, this is the series of Springer, Vladdy, Bichette, and they did some good things. But the home runs weren't from those guys. It was from Nathan Lucas, who hit a big home run. He went 2 for 5 with a home run. George Springer, 1 for 4, scored from first on a Vladimir Guerrero Jr. double, very similar to what we saw against the Yankees series from Vlad and George Springer, like the exact same thing, or maybe in Bo. I don't know, it was definitely George Springer. Regardless, it's a lot of games going on. Vladdy goes 3 for 5 with 2 RBIs. Vladdy is really starting to, come back. He pulls his hands in again. He hits another big double down the left field line, and he has really started to turn it on. Of course, we're talking about a guy, and everyone's hard on Vladimir Guerrero Jr. lately, and rightfully so. He hasn't tapped into his power, all these different things. He suddenly had a very good past couple games, and that includes tonight, on base 3 times, 3 hits, very clutch hits. Bichette struggling a little bit as of late, goes 1 for 5. Barger goes 1 for 4, but if you're watching the game, his first 2 hits were both above 106 miles per hour off the bat. 106 exit velocity, 111.6 exit velocity, and he got rewarded with a double later on in the game. I believe it was Ernie Clement. This was the at-bat of the game. And of course, the Jays are down early 1-0, and you're heading to the 5th inning. You hadn't scored a run off Reese Olson, who was very, very good and very good at limiting home runs specifically. They intentionally walk Addison Barger to put Ernie Clement to the dish. He hits a 3-run moonshot, a no-doubter. He finished 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs. Getting him back is good. And of course, Joey Loperfido hit another home run as well. So your 3 home runs are from Lucas, Loperfido, and Heineman. And Reese Olson, just for context, he has allowed just 3 home runs in 63 innings coming into today's game. And then he allowed 2 to Ernie Clement and Joey Loperfido back to back, which was crazy. And then, of course, later on in the game, we got a Nathan Lucas, the inning after, a Nathan Lucas home run as well. And I believe in this team now. Like, obviously, I've been believing in him for a while, but to see the way that this offense plays, you go down 1-0 early, but you're smoking balls off Reese Olson, right? Addison Barger had a couple, even Vladdy, but literally everybody was seeing the ball well at the very least, even if they weren't smoking it. And I figured it was just a matter of time until this Blue Jays team, got to Reese Olson. But that's just a confidence that the team has ultimately built up over the past month or two. And quite frankly, it's happening from, top to bottom. And Barger, 1 for 4, but you're talking about guys like Loperfido hitting a home run, Clement hitting the home run of the game. I mean, they put up 11 runs in this one, and, Vladdy scorched a single. You have Bichette. I mean, everybody here, even guys like Tyler Heineman, beating out, beating out plays. Like, it's at a point now where you're just in such a good mindset. The team is. Will Wagner with 2 big hits as well, just to get his confidence up. The team, everybody is mashing. Its deadline continues to inch on. Trades are happening across the MLB. We saw Josh Naylor get traded to the Mariners in the middle of this game. Like, trades are going to start to happen now. The floodgates are going to open, and I want to dive into, what this means. This Jays team is insane. And speaking of insane, let's touch on the man of the hour, Eric Lauer. Since being, moved, I guess, to the rotation, or returning rather, 2.3 ERA and 47 Ks, only 7 walks. You can see this here from Avery. Eric Lauer has been incredible for this team. Feels like 2023 Ryu and 2022 Stripling is underrated, super important arms to keep things together. And of course, those were the 2 years where the Jays were in and made the playoffs, right? They were in a playoff race, and to see that this season is crazy. He goes 8 innings, 5 hits, 1 run, 6 Ks. And this Detroit Tigers team has a very good pitching staff. We're going to see Jack Flaherty. We're going to see Tarek Skubal. We're going to see Montero tomorrow, who's probably the worst of the 4 that they're going to face in this series, or I guess 3 remaining now. But after tomorrow's game, you're going up against Skubal and you're going up against Jack Flaherty, both elite starting pitchers, right? Very, very good. Maybe not Flaherty might not be technically elite, but he's a very, very, very good starting pitcher. So to save your bullpen now, and this is a 4-game series, and the Jays are in the midst of like 12 games in 13 days, something crazy like that. It was huge. And Eric Lauer has been that good all year. 2.61 ERA. You can't move this man out of the rotation. It just can't happen, right? And you have to keep him in. And obviously, you can go ahead and acquire bullpen arms, do whatever you want to do there. He is the best starting pitcher per number wise this season for the Toronto Blue Jays. Max Scherzer's been really good as well. You pair that with the good hitting, like it's truly insane. And the Jays are doing it against ace after ace after ace. And I'm not saying Reese Olson is an ace, but Max Fried, absolutely dominant. No matter who you're going up against the opposing team's best starting pitchers, the Jays are doing it. And then on the other side of the ball, you have Eric Lauer, a guy who, despite last year being really bad, like prior to that with the Brewers, was really, really good. And I think people forget that from Eric Lauer. Like he was a really good starting pitcher in the big leagues for a couple, 2 to 3 years. And then of course, he's an older guy, got DFA'd, whatever, came back, Jays, bullpen, long relief a little bit, was down in AAA, I believe, for a while. And we think back to earlier in the season, like Easton Lucas looked really good. He got blown up. Eric Lauer was giving him an opportunity, and he has gone with it and ran 8 innings, 1 run against, albeit a struggling Detroit Tigers team right now. 1-9, now 1-10 in their last 11, 1-9 in their last 10. They have not been great, but this is the perfect time for the Jays to come in and take advantage and take a stranglehold on this American League. Not only, of course, the AL East, but the American League in general, so they don't have to play that dreaded wildcard game. We know as Jays fans how bad the wildcard game can get, and you look at it from the perspective here. Chad Green, really, really, bad game. 1 inning, 3 runs. Luckily, didn't have to use another arm. Tommy Nance had to warm up. But this Jays team needs more bullpen help, right? Jerry Rodriguez probably going to be out for a while. You have a bunch of different things like that. You need to come out and be, the bullpen needs to be not better, but they need to continue to get reinforcements here. I think Ross Atkins needs to get on the phone ASAP. Add a bat for sure. Like try to add a bat. But most importantly, you need bullpen arms and probably a starting pitcher arm. But like with each passing game that Eric Lauer does stuff like this, bullpen is really what this team needs the most right now. And I would love to see them get a bat. Eugenio Suarez, like if I'm the Jays, I'm going all in for him. They're probably not going to do that. They're a bit more conservative, but we know last game was the last game before the trade deadline at home. And, the trade deadline now is just, a week away, almost going to be less than a week away. Things are really starting to pick up. Let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. Obviously, an incredible game all the way, through the board. Huge shout out to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. really starting to hit the ball and see the ball better. Even Tyler Heineman legging things out. Joey Loperfido probably going to be used as a trade chip in this trade deadline. I have a feeling because of how good he's actually played at the major league level this year. And I think they see him as replaceable, even though he's been fantastic. Huge shout out to him. And of course, the biggest shout out of the game to Ernie Clement, who was coming off a horrible series against the Yankees till that last game, struggling mightily, all these different things, shuts everybody up, hits a 3-run home run after getting the player ahead of him, potentially walked Barger to open it up for Ernie. He shuts up the haters. Folks, that'll wrap it up. This team is incredible. It feels like a complete dream right now for this Toronto Blue Jays team, and let's hope to keep it going tomorrow. We'll have multiple videos for you all. You guys are beasts. Thank you guys for watching. See you later.